Camping's all fun and games until your phone dies, your food goes bad, and your air mattress is flat, and now you got an angry wife and a warm beer. It's just not the trip you had planned. So unless you're Bear Grylls, power matters, but how much of it do you actually need? Today we're gonna break down the best power station options for your style of camping, everything from just simple day trips all the way to RV life to help you spend your hard-earned money the right way. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. If you are just getting started with this and you're trying to learn like the fundamentals, we have a playlist that kind of helps you guys learn a little bit. It can teach you the math so you can kind of do some of these calculations yourself. We'll leave a link to that down below. But today we're just going to dump everyone into general categories where the units we recommend should pretty much apply to the situations we're talking about. As always, we have links to any of the products that we talk about in the description down below with any coupon codes we're able to squeeze out of those brands, as well as this month's giveaway information. So make sure you guys check that out. But without babbling on anymore, let's jump right into it. So if you're out for just the day, think the beach, hikes, picnics, a small 300 to 500 watt power station is probably perfect. It allows you to charge your phone, maybe a small fan, power your speaker, keep your camera gear, anything that you brought with you for that day trip charged up. If you're basically looking for just enough power to outlast your sunscreen, you're gonna wanna start with something like this. Small DJI Power 500. It's got a couple ports. You can fast charge drones directly from it. It has a solar input. It has a few 120 volt house plugs so you can run some regular stuff on it. It's a small, compact, lightweight little power station that's perfect for being on the go. If you're looking in this kind of category, we would recommend you look at something like this, something like the Anker C300 or the EcoFlow River 3. All of these power stations we obviously have made videos on. You guys can go check them out a little bit more in depth if you're interested. But they all basically charge up in about an hour, so you can plug them in last minute before you head out for the day, and they'll provide more than enough power for a full day trip. Tent campers and weekend warriors, you guys are going to want just a little bit more power. Think around the 1000 watt hour battery size. You're probably powering phones, lights, portable fridges, and maybe even an air mattress pump if you're living large. If this is you, I would look for something not only with obviously the USB ports and the 120 volt plugs, also make sure it has a decent solar input, so just in case you want to extend that trip or you use a little bit more power than you thought, you can easily put a panel out in the sun and put power back into this guy nice and easy. You're also going to want to make sure that you have access to a 12 volt car socket. A lot of power stations have them, but you'd be surprised people are starting to take them away. A brand like DJI, you have to buy this little dongle accessory that plugs in to get your 12 volt car socket, which is still a good option, but if you're powering a lot of camping gear, is going to require a 12 volt car socket, so make sure you have one of those. In terms of units we'd recommend for this category, C800 is probably my favorite one, hands down. It comes with this little telescoping pole that goes up and down. These lights have 3 different modes. You can use them as a flashlight. You can use them, I still don't know what this mode's called. And then this is just like ambient lighting. They charge and store inside the lid right here on the top of the unit. It's affordable, it's powerful, it's from a reputable brand. This is probably my favorite unit that I use in this category. Otherwise, you can look at something like the Pecron E1000, which is a great deal for what you get. You got the DJI Power 1000 or the EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus. Jackery also kind of made a comeback with their 1000 V2. It's a pretty capable portable little unit, nice little handle on top. Those are the ones that we would recommend to you guys. Next up, if you're an overlander or you do some car camping, you're gonna wanna think a little bit bigger. Think like 1000 to 2000 watt hours of battery bank. This is enough to run your fridge, charge your phones, batteries, camera gear, and other small appliances that you might have for a couple days at a time. You're definitely gonna wanna make sure that you find a unit that works with some affordable foldable solar panels. So if you end up out there and you use your power a little bit too quickly, just like we said last time, you can just throw some panels out in the sun and charge them up. Bonus points, if you get a unit that fast charges while you drive, a lot of companies are starting to make these car chargers that run off your alternator. So EcoFlow and DJI have 2 of the best and fastest car chargers right now. Super easy to wire up, and you can charge with the DJI like 1000 watts per hour while you're driving. So that makes a world of difference when you're overlanding. And of course, you're still gonna wanna make sure that you have that 12 volt car socket so you can power your fridges. You might even want a unit with something like a barrel connector, or the XT60s, just lets you run a couple extra little 12 volt accessories off of the unit. And in this case, we'd recommend something like the Pecron E1500 up to the 2400, like this guy. Something like the Jackery 1000 Plus, that's actually the unit that I use, and I know for a fact running my fridge, charging phones, whatever, that can get me a full weekend of overlanding. You could also look at something like the Anker F2600 3600. It's a decently sized unit. It has a 30 amp plug, so you can run quite a bit of stuff off that if you wanted to, but it's still relatively affordable. It's got a light, a wheels, suitcase handle. Lights are getting harder and harder to come by. Personally, I hate using units that don't have lights, especially if you're gonna be wanting to like pick this up out of the back of your Jeep, walk it over to something and set it down. If you just have a light on it, you can turn it on and use that light to see in the dark. A unit like this fails that category. Something like the Jackery, the Ankers, those have lights, which is always a huge pro. Now, if you're towing your comforts with you with a trailer or driving an RV, you're gonna want a little bit more power. Think anything that has a 3600 watt inverter and up, because that's how you get a true 30 amp plug. There's a lot of units like the F2600 we just talked about. It's great for overlanding, but that 30 amp plug doesn't offer a true 30 amps. So if you put it in your RV or trailer, you might be let down. With something like this, you're gonna be powering some smaller appliances, potentially heaters, even a microwave, plus all the essentials that we've mentioned in almost every other category. You're gonna be looking for something with a powerful inverter, possibly some expansion batteries, so that if you end up consuming more power than you thought, you can easily buy another one, put it on top, and keep your trips going, and a pretty good solar input so that, again, if you're on the road for multiple days or weeks at a time, you still have access to recharging these guys wherever you're at. You basically bought a house, you may as well power it like one. In this category, I would definitely make sure that you find something that has a 30 amp. Most trailers and RVs will plug directly into that. Bonus points, something like the Delta Pro 3 actually does 240 volts right out of the generator plug, so if you needed it, you have access to a ton of power from a little unit like this. We would recommend in this category something like this, EcoFlow Delta Pro 3. You could also look at something like the Anker F3800. They just released the F3800 Plus, which fixes some of the solar input issues and adds that 30 amp plug. Pecron makes the E3600, which is a really good value unit. And if you only need the 120 volts, like a lot of these units do 240, it's a big pro for them. But if you only need 120 volts and you're looking for that more budget side, even something like the Oops Mega 5 is a great option. It's a big battery, big inverter that only offers 120 volts, but if you're just trying to power a small camper or RV, that might be all you need. No matter which category you're in or what units you're looking at, things that we would make sure that you look for: a unit with a light. A light is always a pro. It's not a deal breaker, but it's always a pro. A unit that's expandable. Again, if you buy a unit and you're using it and your needs grow, or you just decide that you didn't get a unit that's big enough, it's nice to not have to sell it and buy something else. You could just buy an expansion battery and increase the storage of what you already have. More plugs is better. The more plugs a unit has, the less amount of time you're gonna spend looking for your power extension cables and things that you probably forgot at home that you should have brought with you. I always default to the most amount of plugs as possible so that I can just plug things directly in. I lose accessories. And like we said, solar input is huge, but if you're gonna buy solar panels, don't buy them directly from the brand you're getting the unit from. We recommend looking at a place like Shop Solar. Basically, EcoFlow, Anker, all these name brands charge way too much money for their foldable solar panels. And a company like Shop Solar basically bundles a really good unit with a really good and affordable solar panel so that you don't end up wasting a bunch of money. Anker 400 watt folding panels are like $800, which is crazy. And you can get them for a lot cheaper from different brands. As long as it works, you're good to go. Otherwise, that's all we got. Any units that we mentioned, we have links to, as well as coupon codes that we could get for them, as well as this month's giveaway. So let us know if there's any units that you guys would like to see added to the list, or if there's any other units that you want to see us do a review on that you're considering right now. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time. Peace out and stay charged.